world that convinces you to be different and unique, being different and unique and true to yourself has become scarce. It is easy to compromise everything you are and stand to make people feel happy. But doing so won't change anything. In fact, you'll most likely lose yourself. Every person is unique, and the sooner we embrace our uniqueness, the better our world will be because you are a solution to someone. Welcome to the Creative Monday Discussion Show. I'm your host, Mervin, and we are creatives transforming lives. Welcome back to the Creative Monday Discussion Show. I am your host, Mervin, and I will be with you for the next hour. I am very grateful to be back again for another evening. I want to welcome everyone for tuning in. I want to encourage you to invite some friends to tune into this episode. It's going to be a really great session. We have some really great stuff lined up for you guys, and we want to know where you're also tuned in from. So I want to encourage you, for those who are with us already early, use the comment section to indicate and let us know where in the world you are watching from. And also, I just want to welcome those tuned in on TNC, those who are watching here in Belize on TNC. We are always grateful for you for choosing this night and choosing to spend your time with us. We also want to say greetings to those tuned in on Caribbean Invest TV in Europe and the Caribbean region. Thank you guys for tuning in and making this show your show. And we also want to say welcome to those watching in Antigua and Bermuda on So Rise TV. Again, I want to encourage you guys to leave a comment. This is a discussion, so you can be a part of the discussion. All you need to do is leave a comment for those who are on Facebook or those who are on YouTube. And for those who are watching on TV, just send a WhatsApp number, a WhatsApp message to 501-6237-898, and we will get your message and help you be a part of the discussion. In tonight's episode, we are talking to a young female entrepreneur who has embraced her uniqueness and is using her creativity and platform to transform the lives of so many women here in Belize. I'm looking forward to sharing more of her story with you tonight, and hopefully, like me, you will be inspired, motivated, and snag some tips to transform your business or personal life. I just want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Puma Buka Service Station. They are a retailer for Puma fuels, Puma lubricants, and full stock convenience store here in Belmopan.
What I'm saying, extra yeah, smoker. Hey, book your service. I like your flow. Your gas so cheaper than anyone I know. To keep my car running and your gas keep me on the road. Yeah. Book a Puma service #1 of Belmopan, you know. My car is calling for some gas from Buka Service. I need to go and fill my tank for tomorrow's road trip. I knew it all along, Buka, you are the one. Best gas station around, you can find in Belmopan. I still top up for your phone. The sell smart what you own. Yeah, grab some snaps to the road. Even use the bathroom. Yeah, what I'm saying? Best customer service, you know.
Yes, Buka Puma Services Corporation Limited, located on Constitution Drive in Belmopan City. Telephone 822-3948 for a fast 822-3949. Or you can email us at info@bukaservices.com. Buka Puma, we aim to please.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the music, actually. I'm a musician, so I love music. And as I was vibing to that one in the background here. Welcome back to the Creative Monday Discussion Show. For those who just tuned in with us tonight, it's a pleasure having you guys with us. I see we have Denise Enriquez from Burrell Boom. Welcome, Denise. Thank you for being with us tonight. It's a pleasure having you with us. Guys, before we jump into our first guest, well, not our first guest, our only guest for the evening, and let me just say I'm a little bit I'm excited, so I'm trying to calm myself down. You know, when I get excited, I kind of try to rush through. So let me just take a breath. I did it. Calm myself down here and slow the pace down a little bit. But I'm really excited because our guest tonight, she's very outstanding. I'm very inspired. I had an opportunity to talk with her last week, and I'm really looking forward to just continuing that discussion and showcasing what she's doing here as a female entrepreneur here in Belize, really setting a high standard in the products and the work that she's doing, right? But before we jump into that, we want to have our one-on-one segment, and let me guys just update you a little bit on this. What we're doing every month, we're asking our Creative Monday community, hey, what's one topic you want us to talk about, and we put it out there and you submit questions. So in October in September we were focusing on accounting, and then this month we're focusing on sales and marketing. And so we put that out there, and we had several questions that came in. And so what we want to do tonight, we're going to take the opportunity to answer the first questions, the question that came in. So let's head over to our one-on-one segment, and we have an expert from Trinidad and Tobago, Debbie Jolie, a sales and marketing consultant, who will answer this first question for you. Let's do it.
A lot of the gurus say anywhere between 5 to 10%. I noticed that when I worked in the B2B space, because they have a lot of sales persons, they don't spend a whole lot in advertising and certain types of marketing activities. They are very heavily dependent on their sales force to push their product or service. So you find that they are like on the lower end, like 5%. Whereas in a B2C space, where it might be very competitive, food brands and those types of things, you find that they get up to 10% or even more, because they just want to have their brand out there in terms of, on TV, radio, print, the billboards, etc. So I think the 5 to 10% range is good. I mean, I even checked mine, and mine is like about 7 or 8%. And a few years ago, it was below 5%. So I know now it is because we have come through this pandemic. The last 18 months is tough, and I've strategically tried to be more visible. But I think the 5 to 10% is a nice little range.
All right, I want to thank Andre Pitts for submitting that question. He wanted to know what percentage of our revenue should be used for marketing, and what Debbie shared. And I agree with that. A range between 5 to 10% is a good, healthy range for marketing. And again, guys, if you have questions, every month we're going to do this. We're going to put it up, and you can also go to our website, creativemondayshow.com, hit the contact us button and submit questions, submit concerns, submit reviews. Just let us know your thoughts, and we'll definitely will respond back to you. So tonight, let me just introduce our guest. Her name is Ronelli Requena. She's a 27-year-old Belizean and self-taught designer and fashion consultant of San Ignacio, Cayo. She's the owner and fashion designer of the clothing brand Zayvha Saria. I hope I said that correct. She has been designing custom pieces for the past 5 years. In 2019, she officially launched her brand and the first bridal studio in the country of Belize. She has built a good reputation for producing well-tailored and affordable gowns for brides all over the country. She's constantly pushing the fashion industry in Belize by networking with other designers, becoming a fashion consultant, learning and introducing cutting-edge techniques in fashion to the growing Belizean fashion scene, and by simply providing the best service to her clients at home and abroad. And before we bring her on, I actually want to show you guys some of her work. So we're going to start off by just showing you a short video introducing her brand and her work to us. All right. Good evening. Welcome, Ronelli. How are you doing this evening?
I am good. Thank you for having me. Good night, everyone.
It's a pleasure. It's definitely a pleasure having you on the Creative Monday discussion show tonight. And I see you already have some fans. I saw a comment from your Elvis, just really affirming you and encouraging you. So, and again, I want to encourage you guys that are tuning. Feel free to drop a comment. Also, feel free to invite a friend to tune in, and let's show some support and show some love. Ronelli, let's hop in. I was as I was doing some research on you and reading up on your bio. You were in biology, and I find it interesting that you kind of went from a biology field over into the fashion field. Talk to us a little bit about how that transition happened for you.
Well, from a very young age, I I'll be straight up. I was bad with numbers. Bad was horrible with numbers. So from a very young, I knew that the business side or like even like physics was not for me. But what I realized later on, that the way I think is more on the creative side. So
Mhm.
through my creativity and the way I would imagine and making things make sense was more of like um using the concept and making pictures or relating it to colors or feelings. That's the way I was able to understand concepts when it came to biology and
Mm,
chemistry. So using that unique way I learned, I was able to implement it in everything
mm,
I would do. So even like work, right after biology, I went to high school doing biology. I went to sixth form to do biology as well, and then jumped into meteorology, which is same in the science field.
yeah.
And I still use that concept of pictures and making sense out of it. And it had worked really good for me. I picked up really, really fast my post. And then I went on learning two other posts because I would get bored really fast once I know something and I understand it really well. I'm always looking for more knowledge. So that has been my science career.
But it's cool because I have a similar background. I mean, I was actually in science. I was majoring in chemistry, physics, biology in school. My mom wanted me to be a doctor. That's the reality.
Really?
And the truth is, you know, I should have known from a young age I wasn't cut out to be a doctor. I can't stand oats because it looks like vomit, in my opinion. I can't stand blood. And when I was in college, when I was in sixth form, I realized that maybe science isn't for me. Although I was good at it, whatever I was excelling in it, but it just wasn't my niche. And I found myself in like you said, that creative element, that there was an artistic element to me, and I started to explore that, and here I am now in this space. So I'm sharing that to say, I feel like there's something about science and arts and creativity
It
that works
is.
together. There's
It
just
is.
something
I
there.
bet
Yeah.
you were good at drawing on your labs.
I was horrible at drawing. But
Excellent. I did
I was
really, really
horrible.
good
See, that's why I thought I wasn't an artist, because I was horrible at drawing, but I realized I was very good at digital art. So
Oh, okay.
you put me on a computer, and I was able to create and replicate things easy. So I had to
Oh,
find my niche in that space, right? But talk to us a little bit about how you kind of transitioned your creative space and kind of make it into an income stream, because you took something that you're good at, you took that creative element of you, that innovative side of you, and you made it into a business, right? So talk to us about how your business kind of got birthed and how you got into the space you're at right now.
well, like I had mentioned, I have always been creative. My mom, I think I got it from her. My dad as well. They're very, very creative, both in their own fields. And so it became something I was good at. So when I went to high school, I really, really wanted to do art. But my mom, like, art not pay the bills. Art not pay the bills. So I had to do geography. when I went to Sixth Farm, St. John is known to have a really good um, art courses.
Yeah.
And I wanted again, once again, to try at least one course. And they're like, no, art does not pay the bills. And if I had money and to pay for that one course, I could go ahead, but I had no job. So I had to do what I wanted. So I continued doing my sciences. But even with that, like I knew I was good at the creative parts of it. Even when I got my first job, I was great at doing these elaborate presentations, doing these nice poster boards. And then from there I got bored. i
Mm.
i knew it was not my purpose.
Mm.
I knew that there was something else out there that was for me, something that would make me wake up in the morning, jump out of bed and happy and go to work. And I just knew that was not that feeling. I was not in that space yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a long break. I resigned my really good job and I took a break. I I just went all in into like exploring things I liked, look around. I was fortunate to be taken to places like hiking because I'm really, really in tune with nature, and into these places like big parks that had these beautiful murals, to the
Wow.
beaches where on the weekends where they would have all these creative with the fires, with the lights, the live paintings, the drumming, the music, and that is the feeling I wanted to feel every day. So
Wow.
coming back home, I knew what I not didn't want. Like it was hard. And usually people know what they want
Yeah.
and they execute. I knew
Yeah.
exactly what I didn't want. So I came back home. I'm like, I don't want to be stuck in an office.
Mm.
Kudos to those that are in an office that do an 8 to 5 that love what they do, but I feel like for me it was stifling.
Yeah.
Especially when as a creative there's a point where we just don't want to function that day. And for me, like I felt so much guilt calling in sick in
Yeah.
the morning, like I just don't feel like going to work. So I knew that was not for me. So that year I made the decision that I will not trap myself again. I was not living my authentic life. A
Mm.
life where I found a purpose, where I was happy every day, because that same energy, we bring that out to the people we meet every day. And if we're not happy, how will we evoke that back? So
And that's
I
good.
took a long break and I actually did things I wanted to do. I focused on my health, and that year I started a women fitness program, a studio right at my house,
Wow.
which ran for like 3 years. That same year, I started decorating little business online where we do like decorating for parties. We did like little, like every event, like Christmas, Halloween, so we did little trinkets and stuff for sale. And the sewing on the side.
Mm.
The sewing, I always knew how to sew. I grew up with an aunt that knew how to sew, so she taught me how to use a machine. So that she laid the foundation for what I do now. And during that time that I took off, I had no money. So I had no money and a lot of time. A lot of time in my hands. So I would go in my wardrobe on my free time and pick out clothes that I don't use anymore. I had a little cousin living, she was my neighbor, and I would make little outfits for her and I would post it up online. That's how it all started.
Wow.
Posting up things for her. And then when I would get little money, I would buy fabric and do stuff for me. And it slowly, slowly got out there. But even though, to be honest with you, I was happy in that space. I was finally doing what I wanted, but I still felt like um, somehow ashamed
Mm-hmm.
that I was educated and I would meet my peers and stuff, and they would be like, "What are you doing now?" I'm like,
Mm.
I'm home, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just chilling at home because there was a period in time where being an entrepreneur meant that you don't know what you want to,
Mm-hmm.
like you're confused. So you would have to like put up a front, like, oh, I need to get this office job because
Yeah.
socially accepted. That's what my mom wants, and that's what all my friends are doing. So that feeling stayed inside for like 2 years. So like
Wow.
I never said that it was something that I was doing for a business. So when I started the fitness studio and the decorating, I never had my name on it. It
Wow.
was something independent because it was somehow like a social experiment that I wanted to do to see what would be the difference between my personal business that was linked to my name and the other two that weren't.
Hmm.
So that then slowly I met other creatives, which was like the next level of being an entrepreneur, finding your tribe.
Yeah.
Well, you know all about that. So
Yeah.
finding your tribe,
Definitely.
finding those that really and truly understand you. And there, when I got there, there was no turning back. I knew exactly where I was, and I was in the right space. I had the right energy, and first time in a long time, I was good enough. Like I knew what I wanted, and I had what it takes to get there.
You've really shared a lot, and I think you've really unpacked um, the reality of what a lot of entrepreneurs go through and a lot of creatives, because there's different types of entrepreneurs. There's those who are highly driven, there's those who are very goal pursuing, going hard after something, and they're always on the go. And I love this other perspective, because I think what you're bringing to the table is the aspect of taking time, one, to get to know yourself, get to know your passion, taking time to kind of really define clearly, okay, what do I want? What kind of life do I want to live? And
Yeah,
then build a company, build your life around that, build what you're doing around the life you want to live. And I think that's really one of the best ways to go, because then truly, like you said, you'll wake up every day knowing I'm doing what I'm supposed to do,
yeah,
being where I'm supposed to be.
yeah. And even though like I kept on saying I and I, it takes more than just you to get there.
Yeah.
It takes like a village, really. My entire family, my friends, those that work with me, those have worked with me, those that I have contact with. It takes an entire village to
Yeah.
be to keep on taking you to different levels. And I feel like it's up to you to accept that first of who you are, finding your purpose, embracing your purpose, and getting out there to finding those um, that will be
Resonates with it.
attracted to your light.
Yeah. You said something earlier, and I want to kind of go back to that. You said, at first you were kind of like afraid, like ashamed, kind of hesitant to let your friends know, hey, I'm just home kind of chilling. But then also, I'm working on these side projects and not really embracing it as um, that this is what I'm going to do. What were some of the things that you did to kind of start overcome that and become more confident in stepping forward and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is my career, and this is what I'm going to go hard after, and be confident and comfortable communicating that to others.
So, for me, the first step was finding that thing that I liked.
Hmm.
So it was sewing. I knew I loved it. I love creating things out of nothing. But because I was scared or probably ashamed because I wasn't doing what I was expected to do,
Yeah.
I almost gave up.
Mm.
I was home alone. I was living in the city for 5 years, and after 5 years, I came back to San Ignacio, which felt like I was away for a lifetime. It was so new coming back, and I saw an ad that this person had up that she was looking for a seamstress. At first, I thought it was so weird. She wanted an entire resume for a seamstress, so I almost didn't apply. I'm like,
Wow.
it felt like I was going back to work again. So I casually messaged her. I'm like, hey, I could sew. I want to give it a try, but like, I want like not full on. I just want to like feel it
Yeah.
out to see. And fast forward 8 years, I think 6, 8 years now, we're like best friends.
Wow.
I started working with her for Twig and Pearl, And
Wow.
there was really when I realized, hey, I could be doing this for a living.
Yeah.
Like this here could be something bigger. And I began asking questions. I was no longer ashamed or no longer scared
Good.
because we were the same persons. She knew exactly how I felt. She had been in the same position that I am, facing the same problems. And at the time, she just started. She's probably like what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Everyone knew what she was doing. Everyone had a piece of her stuff. And the great thing about it was that she was never ever holding back of information. That's
Yeah.
one thing that I can say, that the creatives and the person that I have come in contact with had never hold back information. They were always transparent about their experience, always ready to help. So that's the same attitude that I have now. So she really really helped me to like really put me into a direction. Said, okay, so this is what you want. You should try this. You should try this. Feel it and see how you feel. And then I would come back and they're like, okay, I tried it, but how about this? And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, really? I never thought about that.
Yeah.
And that is how we got out there. And she introduced me to other people that were creative
Wow.
as well, which is really hard because Belize is so small that we always feel like we're competing with each other,
Yeah.
right? So it was really refreshing to see that someone really wanted to help without anything in exchange.
Yeah. I love that, and I think there's a new culture that's emerging in Belize,
Oh,
amongst the creatives, and it's refreshing. And one of the things I've
I love
talked
it.
to some of the guys that worked with me over the years, one of my philosophy, and I always tell them, the pie is big enough for all of us,
I say
and
the same thing.
we can
There's
share.
a
We don't
piece of
have to
pie.
exactly. It's big enough. We can all get the piece of the pie. It's big enough
Yes.
for all of us. We don't have to be cutting each other down. And there's healthy ways of competition, because we do probe each other up to a higher level of excellence. And I actually am
Yeah.
saying that to segue into to what you're doing. You have put out a high quality of excellence with your product. What are some of the inspiration that you draw from, and how do you go about, what mindsets and what thought processes do you go about ensuring that it's at a high standard? From what I've seen so far, it's international standard. It's something, it can go
Oh.
anywhere in the world, right? So but there's something that's driving that. There's a value that drives that. So give us some insights into that for you.
Um, I go back to the basics. I love me some vintage pieces, and from that love of vintage stuff, I would go thrifting. So I would
Mm.
get these nice. We all know when you thrift, you get really good quality stuff. So I would buy these good quality stuff to rip apart, and see how it's made, and
Wow.
to see like, okay, this is what we have here in Belize, or there, okay, there's not this, but I can substitute this that I've seen at the store there, and then slowly learning these techniques for certain dresses. This technique would look good for this certain body type, and this fabric would look nice, would drape nicer for a more flowier look. And slowly I started to connecting the dots and making
Hmm.
sense out of this, what we call fashion. And then I would put in my little touch, my little essence of my style or what I like. And then slowly me working for other people, I had my clients adapting who they are and what they like, and
Yeah.
then what we see, because we're very westernized,
Yeah.
what's happening out there, and bring it into Belize. So
Yeah.
my inspiration was saying yes to dress and watching Project Runway, and we like always would think, why we can't have that here?
Yeah.
Why we can't have that here? So from when I started a business, my main goal, especially now because now we can afford these stuff, is to all look out for the little comforts and the conveniences that we Belizeans like, and
Yeah.
bring it home.
Yeah.
Constantly be upping up the game so that we could keep the money here. and make
Yeah.
uh, more jobs for people, and also inspiring those that love fashion.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there are a lot of people that want to be fashion designers. And
It is true.
until now, because everything is virtual, all the information is on the internet at our disposal, that it has made it the information more accessible.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for people to say, I wanted to do that, but
Yeah. If you had to give, and that's a very good point, there's a lot of Belizeans who want to be fashion designers and who's now stepping into the expressive space. There's a lot of clothing line that's popping up. um, if you had to give two advice from lessons you've learned in the fashion field, what would be your top two advice to those who want to be fashion designers or be in the clothing space or being in some kind of dress wear space?
Um, finding your aesthetic, knowing who you are as a designer, what your style is, and two would be asking questions. Don't be afraid of asking questions. There's no bad question, just
Yeah.
the one that wasn't asked.
Yeah. Well,
Those are the two main ones.
yeah. Well, I'll ask you a question because let's say, let's say no. Okay, I've got that. I've found my style. I know what I want to put out there. How do you find your target audience? How do you get people to love your style, embrace your style, and buy your style?
Well, when it comes to getting your stuff out there, you have your style. Now, who are the people you want to cater to? Because you're
Mhm.
not catering for the entire public, entire
Yeah.
belief, entire population. Who are the people you want to target? Or is it the sophisticated businesswoman? Is it the girly teenager? Who is that lady? Or it could be a man. The businessman that wants the suit, or the very
Yeah.
trendy man that likes what's on the latest fashion. Finding that person, who that target market is, the age range, the type. What I discovered after being in so many sessions is like kind of like making up an alter ego,
Yeah.
making this persona, and you're selling to that person. So once you've established that, you start to bring to life a collection. It brings
Mm,
inspiration to these pieces that will be part of your brand.
nice. We have a question that came in from Miss Denise Enriquez. She wants to know how did you find the balance between meeting the international standard with the Belizean touch? Very good question.
Balance. Like I said, Miss Denise, we're very westernized. We like everything West States to do, so it was very very easy. But when it comes to adding that Belizean touch, that is what makes some of my pieces very unique.
Mhm.
Like the embroidery that I started doing last year, putting that little mestizo kind of touch
Yeah,
in the wedding dresses, and also like little traditions, so we're very westernized, something blue. So finding that uniqueness and what we can incorporate into the clothes.
very nice, very good. So let's talk a little bit about your growth process, um, and kind of how did you grow the business, and then also COVID impact on your business.
Growing the business. Whoop. Um, though I've been making clothes for probably like 5 years, I could really say that like it the wedding and the whole bridal industry for me started in 2019. Um, I did training with Beltrade,
Hmm.
and that really put me into that business mindset, because before
Yeah.
it was making pretty things because it made me happy. And then Beltrude was like, okay, well, let's put it on paper. And then I realized, like, oh, I'm not making that much money.
Yeah.
And we're not that profitable. If they're pretty, yes, but yeah. But then again, I'm a science major, so
Yeah.
I didn't know. So it was doing that, finding again the target market, coming with my name, fully registering it,
Nice.
getting a legalized with the trade license, so I'm free to open a space here, and really like thinking what I want Zayvha Sarai to be like. What is Zayvha Sarai, first of all? Who is she? What will the business be about? When you think about Zayvha Sarai, what is the first thing you want to come to people's mind? So that was it. And that actually established till this year. So everything
Took
takes
time and the
time.
progress. Yeah.
Yes, everything takes time. For me, it was getting that first reality check from Beltrade. Okay,
Mm,
so you have a business. How can we make it last?
yeah.
Then we got the grant from the same FEP program through Centro Mipe. So 2020 was okay, we have the business, how can we make the product better? So I went full on into knowledge of construction. How can I get the construction of these dresses to a level that's competitive, not just in Belize, but abroad? Because
Very
now
good.
I went to Mexico and I saw this beautiful stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I want to make just like that. Then I
Yeah.
got super obsessed with it. And so the downtime in 2020 was perfect because I got to practice these stuff. And now 2021 being accepted on the wildlife fellowship,
Mm,
which really showed me what was out there.
yeah.
And then finally teaming up with Miss Melanie Escalante, which were like,
Vision, purpose. Get it,
yes,
get
yes,
clear. Yeah.
all the good stuff.
You are speaking my language. You are literally on a similar track that I've been on, and it's very refreshing to. And I'm interjecting here because I do want to applaud all the support that's available for entrepreneurs. There's a lot of support in Belize for entrepreneurs. You just got to access it. There is free support and paid support. Beltrade has been an excellent resource for small
Yeah,
business to get us through the door, open opportunities for us, as well as the U.S. Embassy with the YLAI program. I've been a part of that as well.
we're
And
fellows.
then, yes, we're fellows. And then I'm also working with Melanie as a coach to help streamline vision, because when you're clear on your vision and you're clear on the direction you go, it just makes it
You're
all come together.
unstoppable.
Yes, exactly.
You're
Exactly.
unstoppable. So we had
So,
Melanie on that,
yeah,
and she really put my team together and my vision and myself into one. So like right now we're in sync like this.
that's
We
awesome.
know what we want, and we have. She helped me establish these goals and these time frames to knock down these, to
Very
knock
nice.
them out. And then finally we had this a great addition was adding Mr. Pinello from Emil and Associates. He really just helped me to put everything into perspective
Very good.
of the accounting side, legal side, and
Very
how
good.
to set the business to just grow even more.
Awesome. Awesome. And I want to just restate that there is options. There is resource. There's help for small business, for business here in Belize. This show is part of that. That's what we want to do. We want to build a healthy business community. We want to inspire, motivate, and transform your lives. So even what we're doing, we're bringing content to help you learn, to get inspired as well. So let's do this. I want to show people a little bit of what your work looks like. And we want to talk a little bit about what are some of the services you're offering, what people can expect. So I'm going to just bring up to the screen some of your products. Can you see that? All right, it's there. So talk to us. We're going to go through and just talk to us a little bit about these dresses, the inspiration behind them, and then just talk to us a little bit about all the different services that you offer.
So these are original pieces of mine, my personal designs. I try as much as I can to do at least one or two pieces every quarterly. So the one here on the left, the white dress is what an original as well. I got I got the great pleasure of dressing Miss Elise for one of her photo
Mm,
shoots.
yeah.
So that design was actually just lurking around in my mind since 2020, and I finally got to bring it to life. Um, so basically, Zayvha Sarai is bringing people's inspirations and dreams to life. So we have a very fun job of bringing people's dream dress to life.
Very nice.
And this picture here on the screen is my current project that I'm involved with Satin, the Sarstoon Tamash for Indigenous Management. They're located in PG. This is a fun project. It was launched last week, actually.
Very nice. Tell us a little bit about that project. Like, I know when we were talking, um, some of what happened. You're taking the traditional Maya embroidery, and you're marrying it with the modern style. What I heard from that was that you're giving Maya women jobs. You're that's what it's all nice, but what you're doing, you're giving women opportunity. You're giving them an opportunity to take the skill that they have and to bring it to the table and generate some
Yeah.
revenues from it.
Yeah, so this project was funded by SIF and CIB, um, with partnership with Satin. So they got funded to come up with a collection that was inspired by the Mayan traditional clothing. Um, this project here started from what we would call scratch, finding the source, getting the inspiration from these women with the vision that we have for the project of what we want the collection to be and my personal style.
Very
So
nice.
it was just like getting a client, meeting this group of women for the first time and learning about their stories, about what the embroidery mean, when do we wear it, and we got different stories from the old generation and the younger generation. And what we got from that was that the older generation, the older women, very proud of wearing these clothing, these vibrant colors and these intricate embroidery, and they don't mind standing out when they come to the other districts versus the younger generation that only wore these clothes on cultural day
Hmm.
and they did not know how to make it. Some of them didn't even know what the embroidery mean.
Hmm.
So immediately, that was the first time I'm like, okay, something is wrong here. There is a gap. How can we
Yeah.
fix this gap? It the ladies that we were working with is actually a corporation, and all of them are very skilled. So some do little baskets, some do the purses, and some make the actual traditional clothing. And when we were talking about sales and when do they often come out, the main problems were that they had a very hard time getting out of the village, so it cost money to get out there. Now they would have to be scouting events or these places where the tourists would come together, like at the Mayan sites or at the market. And then when you think about what the revenue, like the profits they were making, some of them would be make if they made $50 a year from their craft,
Wow.
it was too much. And I'm
Wow.
like, no,
Wow.
no,
Yeah.
women. What? So like that immediately put me onto this project. Like, okay, I want to work with you, ladies. Please let me know what I can do.
Wow.
Please. So I got the job. I got the job for it. So we came together and we designed this collection. We wanted to be like a capsule collection since it would be first of its kind and first for the brand. And we had to include the men as well. So we have four pieces for women and one for the men. And what our main goal was to create staple pieces for everyone's wardrobe, where you can
Very
dress
good.
up, where you can dress down, and for women of all ages
Very good.
using the embroidery. And during the process of that, we encountered another problem where we understood that some of the women were exploited, where we would purchase these embroidery that would take so long to do, and knowing that they would get less than 25% of the profit.
Wow.
So we like, okay, we need to do something about this. Cut the middleman.
Yeah.
Cut the middleman. And then from there was the process of actually making the clothing. The same ladies from the corporation were trained to make the clothing. Interesting about that is that some of them hadn't even used an electric iron before. Some of them hadn't seen an electric machine in their lives. So it was like, okay, we need to break this process down even more. So it took, I think, about 4 months to get them into like, okay, this is what seamstresses do. This is how you put the pieces together, until they were able to assemble all these pieces. And now they can do it without my help.
That is awesome. And kudos to you. Congratulations to the team that's helped pull that together. I know it's definitely a lot of work, but it's rewarding, and I definitely know that those women lives will forever be transformed. We have about at 15 more minutes. These times go so quick.
Right.
That But so what I want to do, I want to ask you a series of questions just to kind of help our entrepreneurs that are watching, those who want to kind of go in this space, those who are looking for tips and nuggets. So let's hop in quick. And this was a question that came in as well. What type of marketing have you done to get your name out there? And do you that you believe really helped to open doors and opportunities? So talk to us a little bit about the marketing that you've been doing to get your name out there and what's been working for you.
Marketing for me, I do very little marketing, to be completely honest, because the team is very small. So we really can't do a lot of work. And my main goal, my motto is quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main thing. So I don't do much. I don't spend much on marketing because the demand would be very high and we won't be able to supply. But I really try to take really good images of my products, about the process, because people are very interested in seeing how it's made, from cutting, drying it out, making the patterns, and some of them to get to learn little tricks here and there in the process. What have really worked for me though is collaborations with other creatives.
Yeah.
Things like what I do I'm thinking outside the box actually.
Yeah.
So like I said, I do my personal designs. I try one or two every quarterly, and I find really unique models, faces that we don't see often, Belizeans. Find these awesome photographers and these really good makeup artists, and really nice location, and make a story with it.
Yeah.
And kind of just make and do images that say a story that where I don't even have to explain it.
Yeah.
And then using those images, sharing it with them, and just market. So these creative, you can find this person here. You can go and look at their work on their website or on their social media, and they share it. And the people that hadn't seen or heard about me find my stuff and they follow
Collaboration,
me.
man.
Yeah, and a word of mouth that has really worked for me. And two, ask questions. Don't be afraid of ask questions.
Yeah.
Investment and taking the courage of applying for that thing. I'll find all the free stuff. Those really are really good. All the free stuff are really good. Like there's a lot of free seminars, a lot of free workshops.
Yeah.
I'm sure have a lot of those. And don't be stingy. Do only investment every now and again on a course. That worked a lot for me.
Very good. That's really awesome. How do you, and this is a question I'm thinking, because I'm 38. I'm about to be 40 in 2 years. So I've been in this for a while, and so I'm kind of in an interesting generation. I'm in a I would say I'm like the tail end of this younger generation and into an older generation, right?
You're not.
You talk a lot about the collaboration. I come from a generation where we pay for everything that you want to get done and hire everything that you want to get done. How do you find the balance of collaborating with a team, and how do you work out uh, when when is it the exchange of money or the exchange of time, and how do you make it so that everyone feels comfortable and fair in that process?
Well, I am very lucky to have really built a good name for myself,
Hmm.
a good reputation. Like someone had just commented, the work speaks for itself. So many of the times, these creatives come to me
Mm,
at some point in time that they would love to work with me. So I
okay,
keep that on the back of my head and create a story that would match their sense of their
gotcha.
style, their creativity, and then coming together. And I've been so lucky
I love
to
that.
have been a really good matchmaker when
I
it
love
comes
that.
to collabs. I have really good collabs, especially the latest one, well, the one in PG,
Mhm.
and then the Earth Day one was really awesome as well. So I think I just have it in me. I'm a good matchmaker when it comes to collaborations.
Well, you're in the wedding space, so you better be a good matchmaker, right?
When it comes to collaboration, all the collaborations are free. I don't pay for anything. So they're really much pro bono work.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's good. I think you've positioned yourself to kind of have a good audience and to kind of put it out there. And so even for them being associated with your brand, they're getting good coverage as well. And so like, that's like, okay, who did your video? Well, this guy did the video. Who did that?
Yeah.
So that networking and that collaborating community, I think that's very good. And I think that's something that entrepreneurs, especially coming up now, needs to maximize on.
Yes, the pro bono, really finding your tribe, finding the people that share the same aesthetic, the same vision as you of wanting to do better, even more, or
Yeah.
just simply thinking outside the box.
Man, it's awesome. Well, Ronelli, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're pretty much almost out of time.
Oh, it was so
Before
fast.
I know, right? Before you leave, though, tell us how can people get in touch with you? How can they learn more about what you're doing and find you online on a whole?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Zayvha by Ronelli, Sayvha by Ronelli. You can also find me on WhatsApp at 635-7149, or send me an email at zayvasarai@gmail.com.
Very, very good. And as you're getting ready to leave, is there any last uh comment? Is there any advice you want to leave with entrepreneurs, business owners, those specifically as well in the fashion space? Like if you had to leave them with any of closing words, what would that be?
Well, finding your purpose and embracing it, finding that thing that make you jump out of bed every day, that thing that you could see yourself doing for the rest of your life or until you want to retire, and embrace the awkwardness of that uncomfortable feeling.
Hmm.
Usually, when you're onto something great, when you're onto growing, it is uncomfortable, and then sometimes you're like, oh man, it just not feel but take fun about doing it, you
Hmm.
know, and that is just making excuses.
Yeah.
Embrace that awkwardness of being uncomfortable and take the leap. You
Awesome.
never know, something great is on the other side.
Something great is on the other side. And I again, we were definitely inspired for those who are tuned in. Thank you guys for hanging in with us tonight. Definitely an inspirational story and journey, and just your process. I really love the balance that you bring, and I say that because those who know me, I can lean on the workaholic side. I'm a push, and I've been looking for the balance and trying to find, like you're talking about, that whole element of what type of life do I want to live, what type of pace do I want to live, and kind of started to make that adjustment, right? So
Yeah,
I was very inspired by just taking the time to really step back and
yeah, because
focus on that.
it doesn't matter how much you achieve in life, if you're not good here,
Yeah.
here, it doesn't
Mm,
matter.
that's good. That I think we will part with that. If you're not good here and here, it doesn't matter. And
Doesn't matter.
that is so great advice for our audience. So thank you again for being with
Thank
us
you so
tonight.
much.
We will definitely stay in touch and see where we can help amplify what you're doing more as well. So thank you.
Keep on making these great discussions. I
Thank
love it.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to our audience as well for being with us tonight, for staying tuned, for hanging in there and just being a part of the discussion. I want to thank Miss Denise, Enrique, Andrea, you Elvis, and everyone who commented and shared, gave input, give advice. Look out for November. November, we have some very fun giveaways and things that we have planned for some of our audience. So you want to tune in to find out how you can access some of that. We also have our Christmas giveaway coming up, and so we're starting to get ready for that. I can't believe we're already in November. The year, well, almost in November. The year is almost up, and we definitely want to be thinking about what the next stretch will be for us. As well, we're going to be right back here again next week, Monday same time. We are gonna be talking with a guest from Trinidad and Tobago. It's gonna be a great session. You don't want to miss that session where we've been in this pandemic for going on 2 years now, and a lot of business have been asking what are some of the things that we can do to kind of plan for crisis, how can we mitigate for this crisis that's been going on. We had a session last year on crisis management, and we decided that we want to expand on that a little bit more and see how we can really structure our business to navigate through hard times. And so we're going to have a guest coming on next week talking about crisis management. You don't want to miss out on that. And finally, in closing, I want to thank my team. We have an amazing team. Ronelli brought it to my attention as we were behind the closed door that I'm surrounded by a lot of females. So a lot of the switching that's happening, the comments, the videos, everything that's happening to make this show happen is being run by females, women. And I want to say thank you to my team, my wife Ruth, to Mrs. Gillett. She's our project coordinator, show coordinator, Miss Shireen as well, who does a lot of our comments, who does a lot of our scribing and getting all the stuff together in the back end, our posts, our Facebook posts. We have a very wonderful team, and then also Joshua. He's not with us. We're praying for him. He's recovering from COVID. So he's home. Just keep him in prayers. Keep everyone who's recovering from COVID in prayer. We will definitely want to see our nation and beliefs come through this time. I want to say God bless you, and we'll see you back again next week. Take care.